hear about.
I got goosebumps right now. That's crazy. So imagine that, you know, you just showed up here at Chain Reactions, like maybe one of these people would have. And maybe they've got a dream on their heart that maybe is a little bit different. But what would you say about going after that dream? And how would you, like, what advice would you give someone, as someone who's sort of seen sort of the fulfillment of some of those things?
Well, I mean, I guess the good thing to do now, and the personable thing to do would be, by show of hands, who aspires to be a musician? Anybody? But who aspires to be like the full-time traveling musician? Okay, all the hands are remaining up. I'll be honest with you this morning. I kind of got thrown into it at a really young age. You know, this is the first summer I've been home since 1999, actually.
Wow.
So I spent most of my life like a gypsy, you know, on the road. Yeah. You know, when you see the same gas station in a different state twice, that you travel too much. That's kind of my life. But I wasn't grounded, like as a Christian or as a person, initially, because it started so young. So I kind of learned the hard way, you know what I mean? And I kind of got to a position where I was just spread so thin as a person, it was affecting my mirrors, and it was affecting my life, and it was affecting my relationship with God, it was affecting who I was. So my advice, and this may not be the thing that you want to hear, would be to wait it out. Wait it out till you know that you know, through prayer and through counsel with people, like your pastor. Like, it's what you're supposed to do. You know, I knew it was what I was supposed to do, but I didn't. I kind of just jumped headlong into it, and it definitely changed my life for the better, but in a lot of ways it almost ruined my life.
Yeah, you know, it's funny that I was, any of you guys ever heard of a famous pastor named Mark Driscoll? Anyone ever, that name ever ring a bell? My wife and I picked him up and we're taking him from one place to the next, and we were just about to plant City Church. And I said, you know, Pastor Mark, what if you had one piece of...
We're here this morning to worship the Lord, and I have a quick story about something I just recently experienced. I went to Uganda, Africa, with my wife, and an organization called Compassion International. How many of you guys have heard about that organization yet? So I went, and we were there for about 10 days. And about 7 days into it, can I have some more lights on? I'm sorry, man. I'm blind in one eye, and the dark is just, I can't see. Oh, there we go. So about 6 or 7 days into it, I didn't feel a change. And you'd expect to go on these trips to Africa and feel a change. You know what I'm saying? Somebody say yes. Yeah. I'm from the South, so I want to hear some uh-huhs. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's how we do it in the South. If you don't participate, we feel like you don't like us. Anyways, 6 or 7 days in, I didn't feel a change. You know, and how many of you guys have been to Africa or know someone who's been? Anybody know someone who's been? So you really expect to feel this change. Day 7 rolls around and I'm like, God, what is wrong with me? You know, like, is there something wrong? Like, and it was beautiful, and it was sad, and it was just gorgeous. And I felt it, but I didn't feel a change. And on the 7th day, we went into this church. And we're driving down the road in this shuttle van, and this is a town called Kampala, which is the capital of Uganda. And it's like the slums of this town. And I can hear this church service from down the street. I can hear it. And I already feel something happening, you know? You know what I'm talking about. Who knows that feeling I'm talking about? Yeah. So I feel that. And we get into this church service, and there's about 2,500 Ugandans in this building. Okay? Just slammed. You know, wall to wall, slammed. The building is made of mud. I'm trying to paint a picture for you. And there's literally holes cut in the wall for ventilation. And they take us, because we're Americans and they know that we're from Compassion, they take us to the stage. And the worship is just going. Music's just happening. Like, there's no starting or ending, it just is. We go to the front of the stage and they sit us down in this place of honor. And I just began to weep. And I was like, my God, what is this? Why? And I asked God, I said, God, why can't we experience this in countries of plenty? And mind you, these people were just, I mean, it was the loudest, most beautiful worship I've ever seen. And I had this realization that as Americans, as people and from countries of plenty, we worship God circumstantially. That's a big word. I'm going to explain the word. God, I worship you because I have a Mercedes, or because my life is so awesome. Or God, I worship you because I have nothing. Jesus, my mom was diagnosed last night with cancer. Help me, Lord. But as I looked out over these Ugandans, I saw 2,500 people worshiping just because God is God. No more, no less. Not because they had or didn't have, just because he was God. There's a man called Brennan Manning, and he wrote a book called The Ragamuffin Gospel. And there's a quote in that book that says that we were made as humans for union with God. So as we worship this morning, I want you to think about that. I want you to think about that no matter where you're at today in this room, no matter how far you drove or where you came from and what your home situation looks like, that Jesus loves you and he wants your worship. I don't care if you're dirty, if your life sucks, or if it's amazing. Let's worship God this morning because he exists.
Water you turned into wine. You opened the eyes of the blind. There's no one like you. There's none like you. In the darkness you shine. Out of the ashes we rise. There's no one like you. None like you. Our God. Our God is greater. Our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer. Awesome in power. Our God. Our God. Water turned into wine. You opened the eyes of the blind. There's no one like you. None like you. Into the darkness you shine. Out of the ashes we rise. There's no one like you. There's none like you. Sing it out. Our God is greater, our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer, awesome in power. Our God, yeah. Our God is greater, our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer, awesome in power. Our God. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. There's a verse in the Bible that says, if God is for us, who can be against us? How many of you woke up today and felt like there was something against you? Show of hands. Yeah, okay. This next part of the song is really, really easy. But it's just telling God what he is to us. Telling the world what God is to us. So I'm going to try to sing it out. Here we go. And if our God is for us, then what could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what could stand against him? If our God is for us, then what could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what could stand against him? If our God is for us, then what could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what could stand against him? If our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what could stand against? What could stand against? Our God is greater, God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is here, awesome in power. Our God, yeah. Our God is greater, our God is stronger. God, you are higher.
A God.